Louisiana Beer Review Special Edition Tecate Light Revisited. This beer, Tecate Light, 4% alcohol, 110 calories, was introduced in 1992, but it didn't appear in Louisiana, to my knowledge, until 2012. A Heineken International brand. Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma is a Heineken company. Cerveceria Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma. Man, they have so many different beers on their website. I'd love to try them all. I was in Mexico last year in Piedras Negras in Coahuila, and I saw the Superior, the big jug, 42-ounce bottle and 40-ounce bottle, and I wanted to buy it, but they didn't sell beer on Sunday. And I didn't have time to go back the next day and get it. And then they have this dark Superior. There's so many different Bohemia beers. Now they got this new Indio. It's called Indio Silver. And they got the Titanium Tecate, which is 5.5. I wasn't too thrilled with that one. It was okay. I think the Tecate, one of the best, maybe the best Mexican beer you can get. Now, it started at the Tecate Brewery in Baja California del Norte. I've been to Tecate. I was there in 2006, the day Mexico lost in the World Cup, and I was right down in the center of town. Didn't have time to go to the brewery though, because I had plans to go to the San Diego Padres game that night, so I had to keep driving west to San Diego, which used to be in Mexico. All right, thick white head, clear golden appearance. It's 7:55 a.m. so the sun is starting to come out, and there is definite sediment all throughout this glass, and the glass is clean. I just washed it, this Pilsner glass. But the sediment with these highly filtered lagers is like little pinpricks. They're very filtered. This is something cool. This is a Crew of Caesar bulletin that was in the paper this morning, the New Orleans Advocate. I'm about to say the Baton Rouge Advocate. It started in Baton Rouge and they expanded to New Orleans. What they do is they have every float, and they put these out for many different parades, kind of the big time parades. And it shows the streetcar, that's the pass court, the captain's float, officers of Caesar, and their theme this year is Broadway on Parade. So, like they have Camelot, Aladdin, Mary Poppins, all their different floats. There's Ms. Rob, Cats, Chicago. So that's going to be all their floats. And these floats are very expensive. A lot of these crews have gone out of business because they couldn't afford to buy decent floats, so then they were having these rented cheap floats, and it didn't attract people, and they have to pay for the bands, and there's a lot of competition. There'll be many parades today and tomorrow and all week up until Fat Tuesday. It's crackling. And you will see a lot of people walking around drinking cans of beer. It's not illegal. And if it is illegal, no one knows that. It's not enforced. The police discourage glass bottles because people could fight with them, or they could just fall and break and have glass over. But the cans, they don't mind cans. Well, it smells like a typical lager beer. It's going to be made with corn as the adjunct. Could be corn syrup. They don't really list the ingredients. I was drinking Bud Light last night at bingo. You wouldn't really be able to tell this apart from all of those. It's so similar. Same thing, the flavor, sweetness, just what you would call a light lager flavor. So if you're a person that likes Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, Pabst Light, Old Milwaukee Light, Milwaukee's Best Light, Stroh's Light, and so on and so on. Corona Light, it's going to be similar. I mean, there are differences. Like we were talking about this the other night. Somebody said there are differences, though. There are differences. I say, yeah, there are. I just can't tell them apart. And I can't say one is better than the other. So, I mean, I bought this at Racetrack, and it was $2.19 plus tax for the 24-ounce can. Now, when you're buying a drink like this, and the quality is, I mean, they're giving it a 0 out of 100 on Rate Beer. You know it's not a 0. It's not awful. It's not an F. It's not undrinkable. No, I don't reach for it. I would buy Tecate, before this, but it's not awful. Now you might say it's dull, it's watery, it's thin. Well, yeah, it's thin and watery because it's a light product. If you get, I don't even like light food, like these diet foods or diet soft drinks. I can't stand them. Light beer I can take. But the diet soft drinks with the artificial sweeteners and all, that's just, can't bear it. And most light foods I can't stand now. Really, the only diet product I can tolerate is diet beer. But they used to call it diet beer. That's why they changed to light in the late 60s, because diet really wasn't appealing to people. It does have a corn, like my daughter says, corn chip. Nice lacing though, so it's fine. But like I said, price should be the only consideration. You can go to Walmart and get a 30-pack of Milwaukee's Best Light or Keystone Light for $17.99. That's going to be your best option. You might even find, I've been to Mississippi last year, and I saw they had natural ice 30 packs for $14.99. So that's where you want to go. Monterrey, Mexico. I've never been to Monterrey. I bypassed it on the way to Saltillo, but I never stopped in Monterrey. I always wanted to go there. I don't know if I'm going to drive. You hate to drive all the way back to Mexico just to find beer brands, but it'd be cool, to make another trip. I can get there in about 8 hours, 9 hours. This is an old book from 1974, The College Game. I bought this at a bookstore for like $1. There's Louisiana State and Alabama. Grambling State University drum major. It's all about the history of college football. Rutledge books. I've never heard of Rutledge. It has wonderful color photos. Looks like Southern California and Georgia Tech here. Yeah, it's got to be. And a good history of the college game. All the famous coaches and famous players. Dartmouth and Harvard, Dartmouth College and Harvard, two storied programs, some of the earliest football teams. You're not going to get more classic than that, I guess, unless you're talking about Yale and Harvard. Army and Navy, here's their annual football game. Back then, that's Franklin Field. They play now in Baltimore. But, same. It's just a fascinating book. I always used to read these books about college football and pro football. I was always fascinated by it. Florida State, so on and so on. Great book, and for $1, I mean, come on. Okay, for light beer, it's not the greatest. It's probably a little less quality than, it's funny because their regular beer is probably much better than most regular beers, but the Tecate Light is, I like a C, I think, for regular beer. And I mean for light beer. For beer overall, I guess it's a C minus, but it sure is not an F. So it's worth trying, I guess, if you like thin, watery diet products. Thank you for watching this video production.